any chance of success, I'm happy to keep working on it with any member who is interested. Now, some of the interest might just be they can't. I mean, it's reconciling different goals. But, Mr. Chair, I'm at the will of the committee. You've taken a lot of time on this.
Certainly. We're trying to make sure that something as significant as this gets a full airing here. If anyone wants to make a motion to pass it by for the day. And
so moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right. There's a motion to pass it by for the day, and we'll take it up again next week. If that's the case, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All
Thank you.
opposed,
Thank
say
you.
no. Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, Delegate Freitas, you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Essentially what HB 307 does, the problem that we're trying to address is when people submit for a FOIA request, oftentimes for the first time, they get hit with a bunch of fees that they didn't even know it existed. Sometimes they end up having to pay those fees even if they would have made a different decision if they'd known what they were going to be. So what this bill did is we tried to solve a couple of different issues. One is we changed the law to say that when you do a FOIA request, the person that is responding to that FOIA request needs to let them know that there might be associated costs with conducting that. Then they can offer them an estimate. So they can say that if you would like to know roughly based off of your search criteria or whatnot, it would cost this much. Then what they can do is they can charge for the estimate, which would obviously be a much lower cost. And then if they choose to go forward with the FOIA request, whatever they paid for the estimate would then be rolled into the total cost of what it required to do that. The only other thing that we added in the language was to say that basically bodies need to take all reasonable measures in order to make sure that the costs are as low as possible. That's what the bill does, and I believe there was an amendment offered by Senator Donovan.
Mr. Chairman, that should be posted online.
And to just speak briefly to that amendment, she was, I believe the senator was attempting to do two things in that realm. One was to make sure that when, parents aren't getting hit with, excessive fines when they're making requests with respect to the schools. And then on top of that, the other concern is that there is a code section which specifically deals with requesting certain medical records. And so we didn't want to do anything in this that was going to adversely affect the law that already, and that's my understanding of what the amendments were, but I'd certainly be open if council has a much better and more accurate explanation.
No, I think that that is a good explanation, but I'm not currently sure if scholastic records, how broad that is. So if we want to do like amendments later, that's fine. But.
And I'd be happy to take any questions from the committee. I had 30 people lined up to support it, but I told them don't bother. So.
All right, we have an amendment that's proposed here. Anyone want to make a motion to adopt the amendment?
So moved. Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to adopt the amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed no. Okay, the amendment is part of the bill now.